Well, I like this Best Picture rankings.
Oh yeah, we're going hard.
I'm gonna start with them.
At 1 and 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say 5 and 6.
Well,
but I suppose 1 and 2 makes more sense.
Where you're wrong. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Rum and Cinema. That's right. As of recording, the Oscar nominations have not come out yet. They come out on Thursday, the 23rd. You'll probably be listening to this after that. But we're pretty confident that these two movies are going to be up for Best Picture. So we are beginning our 5 episodes of Oscar nominee watches. The tragic fires in LA, of course, have pushed the Oscar announcement back. It was supposed to be last week, so we were going to be like, oh, let's watch all 10 movies over 5 weeks right before the Oscars start. And then it kind of moved around. So we'll still be on time, but we're guessing these two are going to be
really inconvenient for us.
Yeah, you know, really fucked up our schedule for our very rigorous scheduled podcast.
Yeah.
But
how will our viewer adapt?
I'll just text my dad. Hey, it's coming out later, just to let you know. But we have a good feeling that these two movies are going to be included. So we're going to start with Conclave, now available on Peacock, and Anora, which is available to rent or buy digitally. You can find us on youtube.com/@rumandcinema to watch us. Subscribe to keep up to date with our new episodes as we release them. Check us out on TikTok if it's still around, @rumandcinema for all our movie short takes. I tried Instagram, but our account got locked, so I'm working on that. And YouTube Shorts, we put those out too.
Better,
yeah, probably. We don't need the Zuck. But yeah, today I'm joined by Nate and Jake to talk about Anora and Conclave. Nate, how the heck are you?
I'm doing great. I was just fun fact: when you search Rum and Cinema on YouTube, we do not show up in the first page of results.
That's not good.
That is a fun fact.
It's pretty funny.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm doing good over here. It snowed a bunch.
Yeah,
it sucks. My stupid dog is happy.
Nice.
I'm mostly just riding on a high that we're still podcasting. It's absolutely wild.
I know. We're 21 days in the year.
We had to change things up a little bit, and we managed to not just say fuck it.
Not derail for 6 months.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to change it up again post-Oscars, but I have that.
If we make it through all 5 episodes of the Oscars, I will still be surprised. I'm taking the under.
Okay. All right. That's fair. It is flu season. You know, you never know.
We're dropping like flies.
Yeah. Jake, how you doing?
Doing good. Got 2 really good movies, I think, to talk about. Yeah. And interesting because I think I would have liked to have seen Conclave, but I don't think I would have watched Anora had we not done this.
Interesting. That's, yeah. I think a lot of people, I've texted a few people that I was watching Anora, and they're like, what's that? And I was like, really? Like, maybe I'm just too, like, in my silo of, like, movie people to be, like, surprised by that, but I was shocked that people didn't know what Anora was.
I saw a great quote. Actually, it was on the Amazon pop-ups with their facts. Amazon X-Ray, love that.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Amazon. My favorite oligarch.
Whoop whoop.
But the director of Anora said that Anora is a film where you can't remember the name of it, but once you've seen it, you'll never forget.
Damn.
And I'm like, that's pretty spot on.
Great quote and pretty fucking ballsy from the creator of the film.
Yeah.
Gotta say,
Sean Baker don't give a fuck.
I was gonna say, I hadn't seen any advertising for this until the list of movies from the independent film theater, or the independent theater that we talked about last week that I never ended up watching. That's the only thing I saw Anora on.
Yeah. Yeah, it got limited release. It's a Neon, who did Long Legs, I think. That was the other big one this year they did.
Ooh.
Yeah. So let's start with Conclave. Nate finished it 6 minutes ago.
Yep.
Here's how this is going to work for each of the 10 movies. We're going to say what makes this movie work, what doesn't work in the movie, who makes this movie work, is there anyone who doesn't work in this movie, what is this movie trying to say, and where do you rank this movie among the other Best Picture nominees? So we're going to kind of treat it like a job interview, right? We want to have the same questions for everybody so it's even. So instead of our going through the plot piece by piece, which we'll, still talk about plot and what they're trying to get us across to us, we're going to try to answer these questions as best we can for each movie and take that into consideration as we rank them going forward. So, Conclave. Quick intro on that. Directed by Edward Berger, directed by Peter Straughan and Robert Harris. Edward Berger also directed the show Your Honor, the movie All Quiet on the Western Front, which was a big hit in 2022 for Netflix. Peter Straughan wrote The Goldfinch, which was a book that turned into a movie. The Snowman. Frank. Nate. This guy wrote Frank. Nice. Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Spy, The Men Who Stare at Goats. A lot of adaptations, which this is also. It was a book.
That explains the diversity as you're going through those. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Right.
I guess.
It stars Ray Fiennes, who plays the like head bishop cardinal. What level are these people? Cardinals, I think. Head cardinal.
He's not technically the head. He's the dean.
Yeah.
So his job is to sort of, almost like not quite a bookkeeper role, but he's like, his job is to manage the affairs like the conclave.
Got it. Good explanation. That's very true. The idea behind this movie is the Pope dies in the first 5 minutes. That's not a spoiler. And the rest of the movie is them figuring out who the next Pope is. So Catholic Church, I mean, I was raised Catholic. I've seen 2 popes get elected in my life, and it's always kind of like fun to see the smoke change colors. And they do. I saw the trailer when this first came out, and I was like super excited because it sounded like a really interesting idea. I've never heard anyone really talk about as an idea for a movie, and that was really exciting. So it felt very original, and it felt like a fun, interesting thing to look at from a story standpoint. So Ray Fiennes, Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow, Lucian Mzmati are the main people up for the papacy. Isabella Rossellini is in this movie. She's up, like, some people have her as best supporting actress. She was like the main nun. She has like 6 lines.
I was gonna say
I think she did great,
yeah,
but she was just not in it nearly enough to be considered for anything.
Yeah, a lot of people think it's kind of like you did so good throughout your career. Like, she's a well-known actress from
just like a nod for a
yeah, exactly. Like, hey, you did amazing. Can you please take this gift? Yeah, she's in a lot of stuff. There's one that she's an ambassador in Incredibles 2. That's pretty cool. But yeah, she's like super famous person, I guess. I didn't recognize her, but I don't watch old movies. And yeah, just a stellar cast that I think did a really good job telling this story and acting it out. There's like internal strife and conflict among the cardinals that are up for the papacy, and they each have their own, as we find out, problems about them, and each problem seems to be worse than the previous, or like knocks them out of contention, and then they elect a pope, and then a big reveal happens, and they find out something interesting that kind of makes Ray Fiennes, I think he considers whether or not he made the right choice at the end. But we'll get into that. So, gentlemen, what made this movie work?
I mean, one, I think doing this, I don't know if it's been done, but picking the conclave for a movie is sick, right? it's something, if you're Catholic or not, you know how important the Pope is. And everybody, I think, sort of has a little bit. Okay, yeah, there's some sort of election. They all go in and then they decide and they don't come out till right. But probably very few people know. Okay, what do they actually do?
Mm.
What does it look like? Even what's the building look like? Like
Yeah.
they're voting in the Sistine Chapel.
Uh-huh.
They have that dormitory where they live. That's like real.
Mm.
They built that in 2004.
Oh
John
wow.
Paul II commissioned it.
Dang.
Yeah, so I think that initial setting is just killer. It was super cool to experience it, I guess, and it makes a great setup for a drama.
Yes.
And then of course the cast was they all
Unbelievable.
killed it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Yeah. I totally agree on both those points. I think that the setting being somewhere that's kind of like known to everyone but not seen by anyone kind of an idea.
yeah,
I really like that idea. It's like when the Da Vinci Code went like behind the scenes of like old France and old Italy, you're like, oh, this is I've heard of that. I don't think anyone's ever seen it though. Like that kind of thing is sweet. And the writing was really well done and really tight. The story unwinds in a way that is believable and never felt rushed to me, which I liked. And there was no points where I was like, I want this to move forward faster. I felt kind of like on the edge of my seat the whole time I was watching, even though it's just like a drama where they're just talking and it's like a political back and forth. It still was really thrilling to me to watch it all unfold and see what was going to come next and how the next reveal was going to change everything for this voting process. And the stakes feel high because like Jake said, everyone knows the Pope and knows like the power that the Pope holds. So that was immediate, and the motivation feels true from every character that they want to be the Pope for their reason, which I think is also interesting to see like how these characters' motivations don't change, but they reveal the true reasoning behind why they want to be the Pope as they go forward. And I thought that Ralph Fiennes was unbelievable. He's my pick for best actor from the movies I've seen of the best actors so far. I think Timothy Chalamet will probably knock him out when I see that, but I really enjoyed his performance and the way that he portrayed the thought process that he was going through without having to say the thought process he was going through, if that makes sense. Nate, do you have any ideas on what made this movie Conclave?
Going down the questions, what made this movie work? I think it's the actors.
Mm.
Like unquestionably. Uh
Stellar cast, top to bottom.
yes. Yeah, just a powerhouse. Both the like big known names and the new people. They
Yeah.
were all really good.
I will
Yeah,
say
I was
I have a hard time seeing John Lithgow as anything except a villain.
Dexter.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and his and yeah, like that's
it's kind
kind
of a
of. But
villain.
I was like, even if he was like, I'd agree in this. He was as much as you can have a villain in this
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
kind of movie.
Yeah.
It's not like a clear cut villain like you'd expect in a normal movie, but
Right.
like even if he was like the real protagonist, I wouldn't buy it. So I have a bias against him for
That's
being
fair.
what was he, the ice truck killer?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Ice Truck Killer. No, Trinity. He was Trinity
It's
Killer.
funny because
Trinity. He was
Yeah.
Trinity.
He was
Yeah.
the Trinity Killer.
he's pretty much like nice in every other thing.
I know.
It like Dexter was the shocker in that he was the villain.
Well, he was the bad guy in Shrek too. Farquaad.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
I
didn't
don't
know that.
associate him with I know he's Farquaad, but like I
Yeah.
don't think Farquaad when I think
Do you
John
know why you
Lithgow.
don't think Farquaad when you don't think John Lithgow? Because you can't see his face. Do you know who else that fits for? Bradley Cooper and Rocket Raccoon. Anyway,
Ugh.
so
Yeah, I wouldn't call it his most prolific role. So
Bradley Cooper? I know.
moving on, yeah.
Okay,
I
we,
wouldn't
we,
call
we don't have
I
anybody
wouldn't
from
call
The
Lord
Hangover and
Farquaad
Marvel
John
Rivals. All
Lithgow's
right.
most I wouldn't call Lord Farquaad John Lithgow's most prolific role, and neither would you.
No, I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't.
Who's on the side of this then? I know I wasn't for Rocket Raccoon being his most
Jake
prolific
was.
role.
Jake was.
I am.
Yeah.
Well,
Staunchly.
then you just agreed with us.
No, he agreed
I
that John
agree that I
Lithgow.
wouldn't call Lord Farquaad John Lithgow's most prolific role, but that doesn't exclude all animated roles from being somebody's most prolific role.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I agree with that,
Sure.
but not the rest of it.
Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, I really like the acting. You said Carlos, so I think one person you were talking about that, like Carlos Diaz, he plays the guy from Afghanistan or Iraq, I can't remember which spot. Afghanistan, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That shows up.
Yeah.
He was actually an architect.
Papa?
Yeah, he was like a real life architect until 2020. And then he took online acting classes and went to auditions, and now he's like this crazy supporting actor in Conclave. Yeah, keep going, Nick. What do you
got? I feel like with what doesn't work, I just like want to take myself out of consideration. I think like I'm biased in terms of not being interested in the subject matter of this movie.
Oh, interesting.
And it's not stubbornly. Like when I saw the trailer for this, I thought it looked really cool. Like the trailer really pulled me in with like the intrigue and stuff. And then I'm watching the movie, and to me, I'm just like, I think what's missing is that like the Pope is not a factor in my life. Sure. I didn't grow up religious. I don't ever think about the Pope. I know the Pope has power, but I kind of roll my eyes at even that power. I know that billions of people listen to what he says, but I don't care. Like I'm just gonna put that out on the internet. I don't give a shit.
Sure.
So every emotional moment, like when the South African guy gets taken out of contention and he's like, "You'll never be Pope, you know how they are." I'm just like, you know, this group of 40 men are gossipy bitches and and you're never going to be the leader of the fucking like fake thing. I don't care. Like I just like didn't feel I never felt the weight of it the entire time.
Did you feel anything
and that includes the twist.
Did you feel anything when what's his face took over for Captain America?
What's his face?
The black guy that took over for Captain America.
Oh, we're talking about Marvel.
Yeah, did you feel anything when Anthony Mackie took over for Captain America?
No.
Okay.
But I have felt to investment. Like I can get invested in a lot of things. I think this might be one of the only things I can't get invested in.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying I'm disqualified from consideration.
Sure.
Because like I just don't care.
So like if they did the Pope reveal,
I care the least about in the world.
If they did the Pope reveal like they did Doctor Doom at Comic-Con, they just had like 40 people come out in the Pope hat, and then one of them takes it off, and it's the real Pope. Would that have worked?
That's exactly what they're doing, though. They treat it with just as much fanfare. Like anyone who rolls their eyes at Marvel, the Catholic Church is the queen of drama queens.
Yeah,
it is their fucking smoke.
It is very over the top.
They have canisters built for the papacy. Like I love seeing that little detail. Like, go fuck yourself. It's so unimportant. I hate it.
Yeah.
Like, and it goes all the way to the twist. Like the twist, I've seen there's controversy online and they're talking about the twist. I'm like, it's not a big fucking deal.
I mean, it would be.
Yeah,
in, like,
it would
real life.
rock the Catholic. Yeah, it would rock the Catholic Church's world because they're fucking backwards. Like, I don't know. Like,
But
don't you think
there was a lot
controversy?
Don't you think there was a lot of uproar when Robert Downey Jr. was announced as Doctor Doom? Everybody's like, "Whoa, he's a good guy and he's Iron Man. How can he also be Doctor Doom? How can you be two people at the same time?" Is that also stupid?
Explain it to me in Marvel terms.
You're honestly.
How does intersex work in Marvel terms? I'm just equating the two of like, I'm trying to make it relatable for you, and maybe it's not working.
No. I what I'm saying is like, there's almost everything in the world is relatable to me, except for the Catholic Church and their dogma.
Yeah, that's fair. But the movie Dogma,
like,
very good.
One of the best treatments,
but not streaming yet. That's crazy.
Oh, disappointing. Yeah, no, I don't know. Like, I get like what you guys are describing, like like we haven't seen this before. Like, I get it. That's I get why it's interesting.
Mhm.
I just didn't feel it, and I think that's what's missing. Like
Sure.
that's why I was bored, because the drama doesn't work if you're not at least academically interested.
It's like a song with a hook you don't like, and everyone around you is like, "This song is sick," and you're like, "Yeah, I get why you like it, but it's not for me." Like that kind of thing, right? Like
Yeah.
if the
See,
hook
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
get
yeah,
just
you,
it's not
you're
for
out.
me.
Yeah, you can get the
there
music
there
is
has to
good
be
and the
an
lyrics are good, but it's not for me. Yeah.
there has to be an element of maybe not spite, but even if you're neutral on it, you shouldn't be disinterested,
Mm.
right?
Were you an altar boy, Nate?
So
Yeah, and what's that?
it has to be biased because like
It is biased. Yeah.
I
Okay.
went into this movie thinking it's going to be like a religious 12 Angry Men,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Mm,
It's like a closed room drama, although
Mhm.
this wasn't a single room, same idea, right?
Yeah.
mhm.
It's these guys that are sealed off from everyone else, and there's like a drama, little bit of mystery in it, right? I wouldn't call this a mystery, but
Yeah.
there's
Mm.
mystery elements.
Some twists,
Um,
some
yeah,
turns.
and so I saw it as kind of that, and it's like you don't have to be interested in the inner workings of a jury room
Mm.
to enjoy 12 Angry Men. You just enjoy the drama of it.
Yeah, the character development, the characters themselves. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
I think because like again, I thought I was going to be interested in this movie. I like a political drama
Mm.
generally.
True.
I think what surprised me about it was that description of the conflicts that brought the problems
Mm.
made me more annoyed than like intrigued. Like we're it's just but it all gets tied up in the religious stuff. Like a guy is disqualified because he had a child.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I'm not able to I don't know, remove myself from that
He was
enough
too
to be
busy seething to enjoy the film.
But you can see like why
it's
a
just
pope with a
well,
kid would be like blasphemy to the Catholic Church when you're supposed to be like celibate as a priest.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's just stupid. Like
Yeah, you don't buy the bit. Yeah, that's fair.
again, that's the yeah, like it just particularly almost all of it. I'm just like, yeah, not for me. The twist, I'm just like, go fuck yourself. Like the I
He
watched the
can.
last scene in earnest when he said when he told him, and he's just sitting there in silence.
Mm.
It's just like, come on, like it's not. I don't know. He's like, and the Pope thought that this was okay. Just like, who gives a shit what the Pope thinks?
Well, he's
It's
infallible.
like, oh,
Yeah,
we got a new pope now. It only matters what I think.
Yeah.
yeah.
Guess
We're
what?
about to establish a new infallible truth
Yeah.
that will change every fucking 10 years.
Like 40 sometimes. We've been in a
I
particularly high
hated
pope number generation.
reading reviews. Like I fucking hated when they're like, it's about the church moving forward. I'm like, you're talking about an infallible truth that changes every time a new person dies.
Yeah.
It's
Isn't that like science though? Science moves forward every time. It was the truth and
science
new
doesn't
things.
claim to be an infallible truth.
Well, that's fair. That's fair.
It absolutely doesn't.
Yeah.
No, I said that's fair. I said, well, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I thought of one and I was like, nah,
No,
you're
I
right.
know.
It doesn't.
It does just it's again, it doesn't take away from the movie. It's just not for me.
Fair enough.
I
Um
will I will get off my hobby horse, but like it made it I can both see how the movie worked and just like describe to you how incredibly uninterested I was. Like I wanted to so bad be interested in this movie.
yeah. You're gonna hate my ranking then. uh I
Let's just say Stanley Tucci for Pope. I loved Stanley Tucci so
Mm.
much in this movie.
he's great.
I love the Italian Pope.
Are you going through all the answers right
He was
now?
great. No,
Oh, we're just doing the first one so far. And you kind of
what
like
worked for me was how great every performance in this
got it.
movie
Okay.
was.
Okay. You just kept I thought you were on the third one. I was like, no, we're still on the first one.
You
I
asked
guess I
Nate,
went-
you
I
asked
went-
Nate the first question, he starts nailing 95 theses to the door.
I guess I went into number 2, which is what doesn't work for me.
No, that's
But,
fine.
like,
That's a perfect segue.
the only thing that worked for me was the incredible acting.
I had a question about the end of the movie, the last scene where he's looking out on the inner workings of whatever. Where are they? What's that city called? Vatican City.
The Vatican?
Vatican City, Nate. And
Sure.
I haven't seen this movie in a month. And he's looking out on it, and
did you learn about the Vatican?
yeah, I grew up Catholic, and I just learned about the Vatican. It all makes sense. So he looks on the inner workings of Vatican City, and there's that door that opens, and people are walking out and acting normal. Do you think that's a positive ending or a negative ending in Ralph Fiennes' character's mind? Is he looking out at that like, oh, good, everything's still going forward, everything's working as it should be? Or is he looking at it as like, these people have no fucking idea what's about to hit them?
Ooh.
That's where me and Abby were debating back and forth. It's like, which ending is it? Is he okay with the idea?
I think he's looking out and thinking, okay, you know, he's having this huge crisis of faith. He was having a crisis of faith before the election.
True.
He's having a major one now. He just had all of these crazy things exposed about various people, this incredible drama, and then it's over, and he's looking out and thinking, and look at that, life goes on for everybody.
That's how I saw it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I saw it as like an affirming moment. Like, everything's fine.
Like, yeah, it doesn't make a huge difference what just happened in there.
Yeah.
That's how I took it too, though. The like that versus him like being dismayed. But these people don't know what's about to hit them is I hadn't even thought about that. That's an interesting third option.
Yeah.
Of just like being worried about the future.
Like how are they gonna go forward?
I think he was made peace with it, but like whether he's worried about other people is a different question.
Like where did he leave? Because his whole job was to make sure that the next pope was ready and to elect the right pope. That's his internal struggle. Is he wants to leave it in good hands so he can leave. I think he wants to leave it in good hands so he can leave and feel good about it. Also, what didn't work in this movie?
Pope even gonna let him leave? Pope seemed to really like him.
He'll probably be fine. He'll get out of there. What doesn't work in this movie? I didn't like all of the.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't like all of the. Actually, I don't know. You go.
I was gonna say, I feel like I would be really not interested in a rewatch of this movie.
Oh.
You would strictly be watching it for the amazing performances, but I think you lose all of the drama, all of the mystery. I think you lose too much.
Most of the drama came from reveals.
Yeah.
Yes. And just knowing what's going to get exposed about people, or what he finds when he goes into the room, which is a moment of huge tension, and even just obviously knowing who they're going to elect as pope, you know.
True.
So,
honestly,
I love the film. I would not watch it again.
I can make an argument for being interested in watching it one more time to see the rise of the eventually elected pope. Because I wouldn't say I saw it coming. I thought they were going to be a character who provided a different perspective.
Sure.
But I was not expecting them to be elected pope.
Yeah, I had my suspicions because in the first election they had one vote, and you sort of assumed that he voted for himself.
Yes.
And then shortly after, they don't come out and say it, but he says, "Oh, he voted for Ralph Fiennes."
Yep.
And you're like, "Oh, somebody else had voted for him. Interesting." Then in the next round, again under the radar, it's like in this list of names that had one vote, he had 2 votes. And then the next time he had 4. He was always near the end of the list, but because in my mind I'm like, everybody who's talking to this guy and getting to know him because he's brand new,
yes,
is being swayed.
Yeah. Yeah. He did have a very like Messiah moment in the theater. When the two sides of the the English speaking people were like
that was
going
the
back
moment
and
where
forth.
I was like, oh, they're electing him.
Yeah, he was really good in that. That was really good. And I also like them
Great performance.
picking like a no-name actor for that role, because he does fly on the radar, under the radar. Like if it was Ralph Fiennes as that guy, you'd be like, oh, they're fucking elected Ralph Fiennes. Like he's awesome.
Right.
But having him be the under the radar guy, makes a lot of sense to me, and that worked really well. I honestly can't think of anything that didn't work for me. I
That looks
really
like
like this.
Jesus.
He did. He did. Like, I enjoyed the writing. I thought the cinematography was incredible. I thought that the story worked. The acting was unbelievable. And I think I'd watch it again just for the acting, honestly. Like, 12 Angry Men, I can't tell you if they voted guilty or not guilty, to be honest with you. I don't remember. And I don't think that's the point of the movie.
Right.
In a similar sense, I think that we could look back in 10 years and be like, that's not the point of this movie. It's not, the point isn't who they elected, it's how they got there. And that could still be interesting. But you're right, like the twists do add some like tension, so maybe it would be a different, it would definitely be a different feeling upon rewatch, but it'd be more just
Yeah,
like,
it'd be a different watch for sure.
yeah, it'd be more like watching great performances. Speaking of great performances, who would you like to highlight as someone that you thought made this movie work? We've mentioned Ray Fiennes. Nate, you mentioned Stanley Tucci. Carlos Diaz is the Benitez character. Who did you like, Jake?
Sister Agnes.
Sister Agnes, yep. Isabella Rossellini, who is up for Best Supporting Actress in Golden Globes and lost, but was up.
You know, we touched on Stanley Tucci, but I'll give him a shout out too because he starts off as the guy you're rooting for.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the guy you're rooting for, one, because that's like the plan, and like the main character, Ralph Fiennes, it says, "Oh yeah, you know, I'm supporting you." It's so you're kind of in his camp just by virtue of the movie follows Ralph Fiennes,
Yeah.
who is a supporter of Bellini.
Yeah.
But after he loses, it's like one or two votes in, and he's losing support, and he gets nasty, and he
Yes.
lashes out, and he
I
kind of exposes himself for wanting this for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I love the turn. It's my favorite part of the movie. When he just starts like out of nowhere, just like starts just lecturing him after his holier than that. It was so good.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an
I
incredible
almost
scene.
texted you guys,
It's
Stanley
a,
Tucci is my Pope in the first like 10 minutes of the movie. And then I was like, damn, all right.
Mm-hmm.
it's like when Bilbo sees the ring again.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was like.
Yeah. I'd
At
agree.
first, that first where he was like, I didn't know you were so in or so
Mm,
what's the word?
Ambitious.
ambitious.
Ambitious. I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
What
What
perfect
the
word.
fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but I mean, Ray Fiennes just so good in this. Like, it's show not tell in the perfect way with him. His internal struggle is shown really well. But I agree, Stanley Tucci is like the best supporting cast member in a.
He's always the best supporting cast.
He is, yeah, and it's a deep cast in this one. Like, you could go probably 5 or 6 deep with people that were amazing, but he really stood out.
Yeah.
Is there anybody who doesn't work in this movie? I can't really think of any. I didn't have anybody that stood out as like, you're a sore thumb in this movie.
Yeah,
I don't really know
I agree.
what you
I
did.
think
Agree.
all of the main cardinals were really good.
Yeah. The people who we hung out with the most, I agree with their character choices. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, like the least exciting is the Italian candidate, but like
Mm.
he's supposed to be kind of a red herring to draw your attention at the beginning, so he still worked.
True. True. I can't remember. Is he Mandorf? Mendoza? Mandorf, right?
Tedesco. Wait, would you use Tedesco?
Tedesco is Sergio Castellito.
Yeah, he's Tedesco.
Oh, you're right. It's the glasses. He doesn't have the glasses on in this picture on IMDb. Tedesco. He was good too. He was a good villain. Like,
Yeah.
To the rest
Yeah,
of the cast.
his speech was, you know, like at the end when he gave his like when he kind of got real racist.
Yeah, Fire and Brimstone.
Like
Yeah.
that was good.
That was really good. Yeah. What is this movie trying to say?
I mean, I think it very clearly portrayed, you know, okay, we want the Catholic Church to get more liberal and to
Mhm.
get more modern with these things, you know. Of course, even if they elected the most liberal, realistic possibility, they're, you know, they're by no means
They're
you
voting
know,
red in America.
even close to
Yeah.
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 But you know, they're you know, they're showcasing this war like, hey, you know, some people think that, you know, being gay you should be thrown in prison, you
Yeah.
know, and we don't think that, so we're the liberal faction.
Right. Right.
But it definitely showed that, you know, the good guys are the more liberal cardinals.
Mm-hmm. I
And then of course the reveal at the end with the new elected pope, it's like, oh, this just, it kind of ends it by
I,
implying that the church is going to be changing.
how liberal are you, really? Like, you know,
Yeah.
it makes you question that even.
are you agreeing? Are you agreeing with the liberal faction right now?
Yeah. How liberal are you?
How about this thing that would never happen?
Yeah. How do you feel now? I think it's an interesting idea at what I think a lot of our generation and maybe the generation before has gone through with, at least in America, with the church in general, is like this loss of faith because it is so far behind where like modern people are or want to be or strive to be.
Yeah.
And I think it did a really good job of illustrating, like, for me, I mean, I grew up going to church and I would not see myself going back with the way that the modern church is set up. I think, like, it's cool to have a belief system and whatever, and it's cool to be around other people that have a similar belief system, but being, like, talked down to because you're a certain way or disagreeing with the way someone is and making them another is ridiculous. So it was nice to see that internal struggle shown through this dialogue, is like how do you reconcile being a liberal pope? Like, how does that work? And I did like that they pushed it far enough to where, yeah, the liberals even had to like think, are we that progressive? Like, are we gonna like walk the walk right now? And that was an interesting point too, is like, I think to what Nate is probably talking about with like, and Jake said, like, the lack of like realistic liberalism in the papacy and in Catholic Church in general. This was an interesting look at, if given the chance, how would people react? And I liked it because of that. I really enjoyed that.
The other thing, like, even the issue of the like intersex pope aside,
Mhm.
one thing that kind of struck me as the movie ended was, it like the cardinals didn't even know this cardinal existed, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, how is the world, the Catholic world, going to react when they come out and say, "Oh, here's our new pope. Oh, none of you even knew that he existed."
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
You know, you're gonna have your, people would be like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah. Yeah. How is everyone going to react to that? How are other cardinals going to react to that even? Like, but they voted for him. Yeah.
Aren't all the Cardinals there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like upon hearing the news.
Hearing that he's intersex, or they're intersex.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. If that ever comes out, I mean, we think it will, but will it?
Yeah, I assume it would too, just because enough people know, and it seemed to be easily acquired information.
Yeah, they
Right?
found it like connecting dots of like plane tickets to.
The news would find it.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Especially when they're like,
that
"Who is
doctor's
this
selling
new
the book.
pope that we've never heard of? Let's do some crazy
Yeah,
investigative journalism." Like, they would find out.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. The shoe will drop. Yeah, so that's Conclave. Anything we didn't talk about that you want to talk about from this movie? No is an okay answer. All right. Where do you rank it?
That's it. Well, we only have 2 movies right now.
We do have 2 movies right now. So would you like to
I
put it
would
number 1 or number 2?
I would put this one
Wait,
at
I don't remember if this was being recorded when Jake said 5 and 6 and you said 1 and 2 and you laughed like it was obvious. I thought 5 and 6 was obvious. Like, if you're not allowed to adjust your ranking.
Oh no, always adjust. After every
Yeah.
podcast,
Okay.
we're adjusting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair. Like,
So
I
you
thought
can
we were
put it-
playing a game where you had to try to place them.
No.
So you don't want to.
It will always be changed. Yeah. So, Jake, where do you have Conclave?
I put Conclave above Anora.
Okay. I mean, tell me a number.
So
So,
the
do you
battle
want to do
begins.
1 is Conclave, 2 is Anora?
I'm gonna start with 1 and 2,
Okay.
yeah,
I
and
think that's a good
I'll
way to do
just
it.
slide down.
I think that's a good way. I'm the same. I have Conclave just barely above Anora. I think Anora's more rewatchable, and we'll get to that.
That I agree with. I
Yeah.
think Conclave and Anora are extremely close.
Yeah. I think they're going to be in the top 4 by the end of this for me. Nate, you have Anora ahead, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
You have Anora ahead. Cool.
I guess no spoilers. I rank Conclave as number 2.
Yeah, I should have waited till we did both until we fucking ranked these movies. All right, Anora. Let's talk about that. So Anora is a movie about a young escort from Brooklyn who meets and impulsively marries the son of a Russian oligarch, and then shit hits the fan. It's a ride, I'll tell you that. Mikey Madison is Annie, and she is unbelievable in this role. I think second to Demi Moore, maybe, for Best Actress betting right now. But unbelievable as Annie. I loved Yura Borisov as Igor also. I thought he was incredible. Like the acting without talking is what impressed me with him. You could just read his face so well and understand what he was doing. Mark Edelstein as Ivan was fun. He was a good cast. Who else was there?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know anyone in this movie
No.
going in.
No.
Yeah.
Sean Baker wrote and directed it. You may have heard of some of his other movies. He does kind of these fun little character stories. Red Rocket, The Florida Project. Both like indie loves, like people just love those 2 movies. So he's done some really good work. And this is no exception. So it starts off with Anora is an escort, sex worker, stripper, however you want to talk about it. And we basically go through like smash cuts or jump cuts of like her night in a strip club and how she makes her money. And I thought that was really like this movie to me is like in thirds. Like the first third of the movie is like jump cut partying until they get married. And then the second third of this movie is like her coming to the realization that Ivan is a piece of shit. And then the last third of this movie is her trying to get her due from Ivan. And I like how the whole time you don't know what Annie's motivations are throughout like you don't know if she's actually in love with Ivan or if she's there for the money throughout the whole movie. And I thought that was really impressively done through both the writing and the acting.
I think part of that is because she doesn't know either.
Yeah.
I think she's conflicted.
Yeah. Because it is the whale.
Because,
that's what the diamond said on the way out the first day.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you found your whale.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm sold that she was conflicted, maybe trying to convince herself to make it work more. That was kind of how I read it.
That's fair. So
like, I mean, yeah, this guy asked you to marry him. You're not going to say no in her situation.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So Annie is in the strip club and she's on break. And I love how they portrayed the workers here. It's just like a normal job. Like they're in break, just like chatting and eating their food or whatever.
Apparently the actress that played Diamond, the more antagonistic worker there, she actually used to be an exotic dancer.
Oh shit.
And so she was heavily consulted on those scenes for, okay, what is it actually like?
That's sick.
Nice.
That's awesome. There is they need a Russian speaker, and Annie can hear Russian and speak Russian a little bit. She understands Russian. So she comes out and it's Ivan, 21-year-old pencil thin kid who loves drugs and sex and does a lot of drugs and sex with Annie. for like 20 minutes of the movie. They basically party, and he hires her to be his girlfriend for a week. He has this big mansion. She comes over. She like falls in love with the idea of this place. And she stays with him for a week. They end up going to Vegas, partying. And then Ivan says, I love you while they're having sex one time. And then a little bit later, he talks about getting married. And Annie kind of like, not talks him into it, but like gets him to ask the question by her like dancing around it. You know what I mean? Like, I think they both knew that he was going to ask her, but she kind of like had to flirt it out of him. It was like a flirty
I don't
ask.
see. To me, as soon as he asked, she was like, "No, you don't mean that." But I think she's just. I felt like she was literally just pointing out, like, "No, you don't mean that," and don't tease me about it because, like, she's very aware that this is like short term. She's elevated above her station,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and she doesn't want to. She's telling him, "Don't put this idea of, this could be permanent in my head."
Fair. Yeah, that's a good
That's
read
how
of
I
it.
read it.
That's what I got out of that. But then, yeah, she's also, she's also thinking, oh, but if we were married,
Yeah. How sick would
Well,
this
yeah,
be?
the acceptance is like obvious because it's not like a great relationship for her or anything.
Mm,
Like it's not like she was pining after him,
sure.
but she was like, "Well, if you're actually going to marry me, of course I'm going to marry you." Like that's just like the reality of the situation.
Yeah, 100%. So they go and get married and come back, and word spreads among Ivan's family that he is married to a hooker, is what they say, prostitute, whatever. And like the muscle of the family has to come by and try. And then this is where like the slapstick comedy part of the movie starts, which I thought was really funny and like was not expecting it based on the trailer. I thought this was gonna be like Uncut Gems, where it was just like gritty, fucked up realism the whole time. And it was fucked up like emotionally at some points, but mostly it was like party, coming to terms, leaving for Anora, and in the middle part of that coming to terms was like surrounded by very funny like moments that I thought were really cool.
It's really funny because I agree. This movie was like everything. It's hard to classify. Like it was a comedy with hard hitting emotional moments, but when I told Taylor after seeing a trailer what this movie was, I said it was a dark comedy,
Mm.
and I definitely saw a different trailer than you
Yeah.
based on what you're saying. Like, it's so interesting how you can cut different trailers. Like, I know that I saw the trailer where they showed some of this middle stuff that you're talking about,
Yeah.
like when they're like breaking down the door and like he's running around in his boxers and stuff. Like, that's what I saw.
Sure.
So like when Taylor asked what it was, I was like, it's a dark comedy about like a Russian mobster who marries a stripper and like they don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I was expecting going into the movie.
And you got it.
Yeah.
Nail it. I thought it was going to be this, gritty character story. And it was a good character story.
Yeah, I just mean I'm so interested to see the trailer you saw. Because like they cut different trailers.
Yeah.
You can cut it. I've seen examples of like 3 different trailers for a movie that make it a drama, a comedy, and an action movie.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we did that once. We were in Vegas and like we went into a little booth.
Yeah,
with someone with a clipboard, and we're like, I don't remember what the movie was. I don't think it ever came out.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But we watched a bunch of trailers. Like, how does this make you feel? What does this one make you think it's about?
Yeah, like they can sell anything.
We got $15. It was pretty cool for half an hour. So the muscle comes over, which includes Igor, what's Toros and Toros's brother, and they have to Ivan runs away the minute they show up. He just like leaves Annie and everything else behind.
Yeah.
Like a little prick. And that was hilarious. And then they have to go find Ivan for the next 40 minutes. They're just trying to find him. And she goes through up and downs, different thoughts on everyone around her. And then Ivan's parents show up, drop the hammer, force the hand of the divorce, and Annie is dropped off by Igor at her house at the end of all of it. That's the stuck on an elevator for 5 minutes pitch of this movie. Let's talk about what made it work. What worked for you about this movie?
I think, first of all, I think the pacing of this movie was immaculate because this
Hmm.
movie was long
220.
and it didn't feel long.
Yes, I agree.
So yeah, at no point was I like, okay, we've been here for too long. At no point did I feel like it was rushing. I was always engaged. And I think you nailed it with those thirds, right? I think it felt more like three acts,
Hmm.
and each one was, so it never got stale, never overstayed its welcome. So I think they nailed that. Um, and I think probably just Honora, Mikey Madison
Yes.
was
So good.
just incredible.
She was like up for. She was the first. Because this movie came out in where is it? I want to say earlier this year. It was like April maybe. Oh God,
yeah,
it's
it was
November.
Oh,
November 2024. How is that possible?
is that when it got the theatrical release?
That must be wide release. Yeah. Okay. August
Yeah.
30th, May 21st. It was Cannes. August 30th, Telluride. So I had like early buzz. And she was like number one. Everyone was thinking she's definitely gonna win Best Actress. And after watching it, yeah, like she nailed this. She was unbelievable.
And apparently, the director wrote the role for her.
Wow. Oh yeah, yeah.
He saw her in Scream
Uh-huh.
and then wrote this for her.
It's awesome. She was good in Scream. That was a good movie too. 2022 Scream. Bueno. Yeah, she definitely makes this movie work. I also really liked Igor, Yura Borisov. I thought his character was really good. I liked the Nate or Jake. You're really dead on with the pacing piece. I think they did a good job of bringing levity and brevity when it was needed. Right, like we saw what we needed to see, which is very important in a script. Is like don't show me too much. Everything has to be moving on to the next scene. And I thought they did a great job of that. It made sense. It felt real. It felt like this happened to somebody. It felt like it was happening to the people that we were watching too, which I think is important for a movie like this. I really bought into all the actors acting and bought into their performances as what I'm seeing is actually happening to them. And the moments where it was funny felt like they would happen just like that, and we would laugh just like we did. I also really like the ending. At the very end, Annie's with Igor in the car, and halfway through the movie, I was like, Igor's the guy for you, man. Come on, Annie, figure it out. The guy's right in front of you. And she kind of comes to that conclusion as he's like, he stole her ring back and took her bags up to the steps. And the whole time she was like talking down to him. She kept calling him like a name of some Russian lower class throughout the movie. And I think she was trying to like establish herself as Ivan's level of class. Like she wanted to be that.
Mm.
And she didn't realize that like that doesn't come with necessarily being a good person or like a worthwhile partner. And I think that's what she kind of figured out through this is like money doesn't make you happy kind of story. You know, it's like very cliche, but I think that's kind of what she found out. It makes you like less sad for sure, but it's not like ultimate happiness. And I think she found more happiness with Igor, but I think she also realized that she doesn't have to sell herself to him sexually like she did with everyone else that she's been with, I feel like. And the last scene really kind of cemented that idea for me. I like that.
I feel like the last scene was tragic.
You think so?
I was gonna say I actually didn't really get a lot of that. Like, I read the last scene and I wonder what Jake, if it's similar, but as her just like responding to him being decent to her by like offering the only thing that she felt like she had to offer
Yep.
and him trying to be tender, but like she was not interested in that at all.
Oh,
And then like realizing like how fucked up it was that her first reaction was to climb on top of him.
that's what I read. And then at the end, when he was consoling her, I thought that's where like we're seeing the next evolution of her and him as a couple.
I think he was a fundamentally good guy in a
Yeah.
fucked up situation, but like I don't know if there's anything past that. There could be, but it could not be. Like
That's fair.
I didn't feel it was super romantic. I think it like a
No, that
lot of it
moment.
to me was like class solidarity. Like the last moment was just
Mm,
like her realizing like, you know, like I don't know. I don't think she ever really bought into the situation. It was more like bought into like, oh, I'm better. It was just like, here's my ticket out of this bullshit
yeah.
and trying to pretend and then getting like smacked down by like, no, this is not happening. Like you have zero power. You have nothing. And we're just like, the rules don't apply to us the way they apply to you
Mm-hmm.
was kind of like, and then them at the end just being like, well, this is fucked, right? Like
Yeah.
this is kind of my and they had solidarity there for sure, but he was just being a normal fucking guy, like carrying her bags, like that is he was just being a decent human being,
Exactly. And she's never had that.
and yeah, but then that's what I think that's what I mean is like
Oh.
how fucked up it was that her reaction to that was like to be like, well, then I owe you this, and
Yes.
then him realizing that he was like, I don't need that
Uh-huh.
necessarily.
And I saw that as
Was
like a
fun.
positive for them both to like realize that
It
about
was a
each other.
positive for them
Yes.
both. It was. I just don't see it as romantic.
Got it. Okay. That's fair.
Like,
That's fair. I think I
That's
wanted to see it as
yeah.
that. So that's probably where I'm coming from. Is like, I saw those two. I was like,
yeah,
ah.
it'd be cool if they did, but like
Yeah.
they had chemistry.
Mhm.
But like it was very more to me just like being like fuck this. Like
Yeah. That's fair.
And I think like my read on the end is like, she realizes that she cries. She probably goes home. He drives off. They never see each other again.
Yeah. That's probably true.
But I also think it doesn't
unfortunately, maybe.
matter, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think the end of the movie is anything to do with does Nora and Igor end up together. I think it has to do with her like her realization in that moment. Because also that's the first time it really hit her. When
Mm.
she's crying, it's like 'cause she never processed the whole whirlwind marriage, thought she was escaping poverty. Then all this stuff happened. She's in denial at first. Then she's pissed at him and wants to find him. Then they find him and she's like, oh, actually, she's trying to get him to not do it. And then she realizes how awful he is and she does want to do it. But so she's going through all of this. But again, none of it is her choice,
Mm.
really.
Mm-hmm.
She's just along for the ride, and she just realizes that. So yeah, I think that breakdown is also just the first time where everything is just hitting her all at once. Like what happens to her?
It's interesting you say she's along for the ride because every time she's in a car, she's a passenger. She's never driving. She's never in control until she hops in the driver's seat at the end and she finally like feels the control to stop, which is interesting. Is there anything that didn't work for you in this movie?
I honestly don't think like uh I meant to jump in a couple times and echo, but just like I think something that's like truly unique, like not not literally unique. There are other movies that are good at this, but like something you don't see very often is like this entire movie start to finish felt like so real.
Yes.
It never felt I watched this whole video about how like The Room, the famously bad movie,
Mm-hmm.
is like stands it like it's like that because he was trying to write realistic dialogue, like write how real people talk,
Mm-hmm.
where people are repeating themselves and etc. But like, and obviously you can't just do that. Like you can't write exactly real, but this felt very realistic. Like just how they reacted. Like people were not caricatures. Like when shit didn't go the way they expected, they reacted in like unexpected ways. They were like, "Oh shit!" Like when she fought back and the guy like broke his nose, and he went from like being this big tough guy to being so like he all he cared about was like his fucking. He was just like, "This sucks for me. Like this is unpleasant.
And the whole
I'm
movie,
unhappy."
the whole rest
Yeah,
of the movie, he
it
was
was
just
my
fucked.
favorite. one of my favorite parts. Yeah, because like it would like
Yeah,
someone breaking your nose fucking
that
sucks,
would hurt
and
a
he
lot.
only had like it was like 24 hours.
Yeah.
Like yeah, like it was so realistic.
Mm.
I saw some review that said like it went off the rails. I'm like, that's not even true. Like I could believe this exact story happened in real
Yeah,
life.
go
Like
watch The
there
Substance.
are yeah,
Off
if
the
you don't
rails.
believe if you don't believe that like there are people who are living like this, then you're also fucking stupid.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's
1000%. I
yeah,
agree.
it was so realistic. Like obviously it's a rare situation, but like it felt true to life and everyone in the movie was like acting so true to life
I think that's why I got
all the way
Uncut
through.
Gems vibes from the trailer I saw, was because
Mhm.
Uncut Gems was the same way. It was so like, oh my God, I'm watching someone's life fall apart in 24 hours. I thought that's what I was going to see. And I mean, to an extent it was, but it was just like not as cripplingly depressing as Uncut Gems was.
Yeah, well it's more like she just ended up back where she was instead of being destroyed, but
It's
like she did have the situation dangled in front of her.
who's the guy that wrote Community?
Uh
Mark
oh,
Harmon, Dan Harmon.
Dan Harmon. Yeah.
So he has this story circle
Yeah, yeah.
for writing scripts. So they're starting a comfort zone. They desire something. They enter an unfamiliar situation. They adapt to that situation. They get what they desired. They pay a heavy price for it. They return to their familiar situation, changed overall. Like it's literally that story circle for this story for
Yeah.
Anora.
The hero's journey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's very realistic, and anybody that
I guess
didn't is insane.
it does fit so perfectly. I think the nice, realistic, modern, uh, you know, like anti-capitalist view is just like also her not getting what she wanted was just like I thought it was so brutal. The mom
Oh
just
my
being
God.
like she tried to stand up for herself and be like, well, I'm going to divorce you for 50%. Her just being like, the rules don't apply to us. Like
Yeah.
like are you joking? Like we'll kill you and get away with it.
Yeah.
Like she basically is like gleefully whispering into her ear like, do you actually think you can do anything about this?
From the steps of her private jet.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
such.
yeah. And she was enjoying herself at
Mm-hmm.
that point. Like she was pissed she had to fly there, but she loved like crushing her.
She was like, "Please let me do this to you.
Yeah, yeah,
Please
yeah.
give me a reason. Give me a fucking reason." Yeah.
Yeah.
And also she wouldn't have gotten half,
No.
Yeah.
right? She would have gotten nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She wouldn't have gotten the ring. I'll tell
Which
you that.
10 grand is such an insult. Like such a slap in the face.
Well, the week was 30, right? Or 20,
Yeah.
15, something like that.
15.
15. She just said
15,
30.
but
Yeah, so she did get 25,000 cash and the ring out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is probably another 25.
Yeah.
She was big.
So
Like well, you're welcome, peasant. Like
Yeah.
it's so fucked up.
I made that in 6 seconds. Like, fuck off. Who makes this movie work? I think it's a rare instance where everyone did. I didn't see a bad performance, to be honest with you.
yeah, no bad performances. Again, I think Anora stands out.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
other, I loved, they nailed people screaming over each other.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah.
Like
The scene where they're restraining her was so good from
Yes.
start
Perfect.
to finish. There's never been a portrayal of that in a movie that was better.
Yes.
Like it's so good.
When she starts yelling rape and they're like, is she saying rape? What are you saying? Where's rape? What rape?
He was yelling back, please stop yelling at him.
So good. And it made you like understand. I think it broke the tension of, are these people gonna fucking kill her? Because I thought that was a possibility when she came in. It was like, oh, okay, they have like
Again, like the
realism
of the situation. Like they're like they probably could get away with it, but like they don't want to.
Yeah.
They don't want to deal with this. Like
not necessary.
It's just like it's more what would actually happen in that situation.
Like whenever people came into the room where Anora and an assailant were, whoever is new to the room was like, why are you doing that to her? Like every time. Like first it was like
what the fuck?
Igor was holding her down, and like the Toros' brother came in and he was like, what are you doing? And then Toros came in, why are you holding her? Like it was so good. Yeah. They did that really well. But I would agree, yeah. Mikey Madison was unbelievable as Nora and deserves every award she is up for. Is there anyone who doesn't work in this movie?
I think I take your answer at face value.
Yeah, everybody worked. I think like down to like Jake said, like Diamond, who was played by Lindsay Norrington, who is a former exotic dancer. She was great as like the villain, office bitch, whatever you want to call her, like
Yeah.
the worst person you work with that just always shits on you. So good at that.
I think Ivan
Hmm.
was you hated him. He's annoying, but he's supposed to be.
Yes.
Like at first he's funny, and then but then by the time that you're really rooting for Honora and you're getting more and more annoyed with him, but it's because he's an annoying little shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And everyone says it the whole movie that he's an annoying little shit to Honora. And like I believed it right away, I should say. I guess like as soon as like he was like playing Xbox with her, I was like, okay, you're a child. Like this is insane.
When the first time that he calls her over and then he rolls backwards onto the bed, I was dying. And then the next time when he calls her over and it's the first time he's playing Xbox and she's like just kind of laying across his chest, she goes, you paid for an hour, you have 45 more minutes.
It was so good and realistic. Oh, great. Now the big question. What is this movie trying to say?
I mean, I think it says a little bit about, the plight of sex workers,
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
the economic differences.
Yeah.
But also it's just kind of shows, right? It's the story of one in particular, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's realistic, and because she's naive too, right? She seems like the mature one because
we're comparing her to
counterpart
Ivan.
is Ivan.
He's a
Yeah,
fucking child.
but she's also like really young and really naive. She thinks she dreams that if she gets a divorce, she's getting half the shit. Like she doesn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, the ultimate naive. Yeah, that's true. I also think
And yeah, so she goes on a journey and grows too.
yes, 1,000%. I think it does a good job of like the grass isn't always greener kind of thing. Like just because you're rich doesn't mean you have class. Just because you're rich doesn't mean you're a good person. Like we all kind of know that now in this. I hope we all kind of know that now. But that idea of like you're not better off being in that situation, and I think she kind of realized that. But I agree, it's like about Honora's journey and becoming a different person by the end of the movie, and that's a very interesting thing to watch in this situation. Yeah, I think it's talking about class. It's talking about social structure and status and how that's important to some people, and how Honora thought about it at the beginning of the movie versus how she thinks about it at the end. I think is a cool portrayal of that. With reference to Igor, like she would never have thought to, jump his bones 15 minutes earlier in the movie, even like, maybe 20. She would have thought about 15 minutes before. But yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was. I think mostly I took from it just like an interesting character study, like less of a message and more just like what this person's life was like. I obviously took like the class messages, but like predisposed. But like I think it's an interesting take because I don't actually think Honora, like if they were like, "Oh, we'll give you the money," I don't think Honora would say no.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
it's yeah, like it's just like realizing that like it's just unattainable or like
Acceptance.
it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, just they're like, yeah, I don't know.
She thought she
Yeah,
could break out of her class, and she couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Interesting. We already ranked them. Me and Jake have Conclave
Right.
above. Nate has Conclave below.
Though, I almost talked myself into swapping
A
them.
thousand percent.
We'll see where I end up. Because also, you know, the feelings might change on a movie as you
Yes.
ponder on it more. But
Yeah. I've thought about
I'm
Conclave.
already thinking maybe Anora was better.
I thought about Conclave a lot after I watched it, and I still am thinking about Anora a lot. So we'll see which one lasts longer. And I did pull a couple songs out of Anora that I really liked, and I didn't do that for Conclave.
The songs were pretty good.
They were really good. Yeah. So that's Anora and Conclave, part 1 of 5 of Oscar Best Picture nominees. We'll be back next week with part 2. We're going to watch 2 more movies before next week. You guys are going to watch more movies in the next 5 weeks than you've watched in the last 2 years, probably.
All the good movies from last year, apparently.
Yeah, thank God. All right. Well, maybe The Brutalist. We'll see. We'll have to watch that with like a really funny, like hour-long movie because that's 3.5 hours.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Literally. First off, shout out Quentin Tarantino and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Can I just read some of the people that were in that movie that were part of the Manson family gang? Let me see if you know any of these names. Sydney Sweeney.
Wow.
Maya Hawke from Stranger Things. The last season of Stranger Things. Mikey Madison, who was just in Anora. She's the one that gets burned to a crisp at the end of the movie.
Jesus.
Dakota Fanning, but she was kind of already known by then. Young man by the name of Austin Butler, who played Elvis and was in Dune Part 2, Nate's favorite. Oh, and Nate's actual favorite from Poor Things and The Substance, Margaret Qualley. What the fuck? Like, that's so good.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I feel like he just picked all the young up-and-coming actresses for all of the occultists.
Yeah.
But
who's got good feet?
But still, but still, good on him for putting them in a movie, I guess.
Unbelievable. Yeah. So now we're gonna play a game. I don't know why I'm Jeff Goldbluming it. Here it comes.
Oh, also very minor side note. The movie
If you
that
would
I
Goldblum
kept
all-
thinking of during Anora was Spring Breakers.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh shit!
What a movie.
That was a good. That is a great comparison.
Yes, I agree. There's so many people that fucking hated
Just
Spring
like-
Breakers.
Fucking idiots.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just because you're not familiar with these people.
Yeah. Or
Like,
the
we're all a
director.
little bit primed to be more familiar with Russian oligarchs and sex
Yeah.
workers in this day and age, but like, yeah, like it's just some people live like this.
Selena Gomez. Pretty good in that movie. All right. Game time. Which one of these is not like the others? I think we played this last year, but we're doing it again. I'm going to give you 3 movies who were all nominated for Best Picture in the same year. You have to tell me which one won. If your guess is correct for who won, you get 2 points. You're also going to tell me what year you think these movies came out. If you're the closest, Price is Right rules, without going over, you get 1 point. If you're dead on, you get 3.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Yep.
We're going to do the 1, 2, 3, stand both out loud at the same time, because I think that's the fairest way to do it. Okay. Round 1. Your movies are Django Unchained, Zero Dark 30, Argo. First, I want to know which one of those 3 won Best Picture that year. Let me know when you're ready.
Ready.
I think I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
Argo.
Correct. Damn, you guys are better than I thought you'd be at this.
Unfortunately.
I know. 2 points each of you for that. And get your years ready. What year do you think this came out? You ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
2013.
2010.
Nate is correct by Price's Right rules. It was 2012.
Ooh.
Nate gets 1. All right, 3
I
to
was
2.
Seriously, 50-50 between 10 and 12.
That's pretty good.
But I figured I'd go under.
That's a good choice. All right. Next up. I about said the year. Okay. We have Gangs of New York, Chicago, The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers.
Ready.
Ready.
3, 2, 1.
Chicago.
Correct. Damn, you guys are good. Holy shit. All right.
Oh, damn, we found what we're good at.
I know, you found it. All right. What year? Get ready for that.
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
2004.
Both incorrect. It was 2002, and nobody gets the points.
Oh.
Damn, that was close. That was a good
Wait,
one.
did the first movie come out in 2001?
The Lord of the Rings movie. Let's see. That was 2001. Yep,
Fellowship.
2001.
Fuck.
Yep.
I knew it came out in 01,
Shoot.
and I thought it was 2 years.
Oh, damn.
Got greedy.
All right, this is a tough one. This is like 3 very highly rated movies. Okay. Forrest Gump, Pulp Fiction, The Shawshank Redemption. What a year.
What a year.
What a year.
I know what my answer is, and I know what I'm going to be pissed to find out it actually is.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Yep.
All right, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
Shawshank.
It is Forrest Gump.
God damn
I
it. I refuse to guess it.
know.
It's not like it's not a great movie.
Right. It's a good
Yeah.
movie.
You
But-
just can't compete with Shawshank.
Pulp Fiction and Shawshank? Come on.
I knew
Pulp
Pulp
Fiction's-
Fiction wasn't going to win. It's
Yeah.
my favorite.
I
Yeah.
think Pulp Fiction is the best of those.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
it
we
doesn't
could
have
have
mass
said
appeal.
which one we all agree is best, which one we think should have won,
Yeah.
and which one we knew won.
Yeah, exactly. What year is that? You ready for that one?
Hit me.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
1.
95.
You said year 1?
Yeah.
Damn, you got it. It was 94.
God damn it.
I was going to guess 95 if I guessed the
Oh,
year.
damn.
Bastard.
And then I'm like, I'll just take the under.
Yeah, $0, Bob. That's a great guess. All right, 5-5.
I apparently when I was like roughly 5, this is why I guessed this.
Yeah.
5 or 6, just only wanted to watch Forrest Gump on
No
TV.
way. That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
It's the only movie I watched for like a year.
That's so good.
That's what radicalized you?
Yeah, that's why you're
Yeah.
such a
Pretty much.
gomer. I run good, mama.
Not and Shawshank.
Yeah. And Pulp Fiction.
It's like fuck the prison industrial complex.
And give me a fucking poster. All right. Next up, going way back. Movie 1, Gone with the Wind. Movie 2, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. And movie 3, The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, I'm ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
3, 2, 1.
Wizard of Oz.
Washington.
Gone with the Wind was the winner that year.
Ooh.
Interesting. For me, it was obviously one of those two.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, Washington is the odd one out.
Mr. Smith Goes to Washington is really good. If you haven't seen it.
I went for I don't know what these fucking people liked back then, and I bet they picked wrong.
Jimmy Smith. Ooh.
Yeah.
What year is this? Are you ready?
This is where I embarrass myself.
Here we go. Actually, let me tell you this first. There was a clip that was going around from Mateo Lane. He's a comedian. Podcast, and his guest
I've
host.
seen Mateo Lane in person.
Were they amazing?
Yeah. He was, yeah.
Ah, so good. Okay, good. His guest was trying to figure out when The Wizard of Oz came out, and he thought it came out during World War One. And they were like, "So you think there were cameras in World War One?" He goes, "Yeah." And then he found out what year it came out, and he said, "I'll tell you the joke afterwards." Okay, go ahead and guess the year. Ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
1920.
1939.
Did you say 30?
He did.
Yeah.
Damn.
Uh,
I was gonna just do the under again, but I'm like, I was trying to overbid your under.
That's smart.
I underbid it. I was gonna say 40, and then I jumped down to 30, thinking you're gonna say fucking 1 again. I was like, I might as well be safe and give myself a decade.
So the guy guessed World War One, and then Mateo's like, no, 1939, and then the guy goes, our response to World War II was the Wizard of Oz. Greatness.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah. Let's find another one here for you. I'm trying to find one where like you've heard of all 3 movies. Is my goal.
Impressive to go back that far and find it.
Yeah.
That was the 1 year where we
Yeah.
heard
Well,
all 3 movies.
1939 is like well known for like one of the best years in film, so I thought it was a good guess that we would know that one. Oh, here's one you won't get.
So the real answer is in an actual movie podcast, despite how well they're doing, everyone would have said 1939.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Actually, because I was just thinking this game is making us look fairly competent.
Honestly, you guys are doing really well.
Yeah, they everyone would have actually gotten every single one the year perfectly correct.
I don't know about that. Some of these years are tough.
I think. Yeah.
Okay, next one. Rocky.
What the fuck was that?
I was coughing. Was that?
No, Jake.
What'd Jake do?
I got later.
He looks
Hell
like
yeah.
on purpose.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, next up. Rocky. All the President's Men. Taxi Driver.
Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Rocky.
Damn, you guys nailed it. I thought that was going to trip you up for sure.
It almost did.
That was great. I thought you were going to go for Taxi Driver, but you didn't take the bait.
Definitely a cult classic.
Oh, it's so good.
I wasn't 100% sure if they were going to like give Rocky the award, but
I know.
I was willing
Like,
to believe it.
But I think we're so used to like Rocky 3 and 4, like people making fun of
Yeah.
Rocky movies, that it was actually like it's a great movie. I haven't seen it, but I've heard it's
It is
really
a great
good.
movie.
I've never seen a Rocky.
I haven't either.
Rocky 1 is a great movie,
Yeah.
and we should do it for the podcast.
Okay. Creed 1 through 3, amazing also. I don't know about the rest. Okay, what year is this? Are you ready?
Ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
75.
75 and 81.
It would not be 80.
1976. Jake by a year.
I thought I was again taking the way under.
Nailed it.
I was sure it was in the 80s.
I was sure it was in the
100%
80s.
Sure. I would have bet so much money. I did 81 because I thought Jake was going to say 80.
Oh, damn. I'm going to give you all 5 for this one. Because they're all like movies that are well known. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Born on the 4th of July. It's a Tom Cruise movie. Driving Miss Daisy. Morgan Freeman. Dead Poets Society. Robin Williams. Field of Dreams. Fucking Field of Dreams. And My Left Foot. What's his face? The Lincoln. Who played Lincoln? And There Will Be Blood. Daniel Day-Lewis. Yeah. My Left Foot. Field of Dreams. Driving Miss Daisy. Born on the 4th of July. Dead Poets Society. What a list. If you get this one right, I'll give you 2 points because I gave you 5.
I have like I
Wait,
have
3
like,
points.
Similarly, like 5 different categories that I could put all these different movies in, I think.
But which one won?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Driving Miss Daisy.
Driving Miss Daisy.
Damn.
Jake got the bonus point. That's great.
My joke category for Driving Miss Daisy was like, obviously they should have, but they weren't ready.
Yeah, they weren't ready. They weren't woke enough yet. They didn't have to by then. You know what I mean? They didn't
That's really what I thought.
Yeah, they didn't undersell.
Morgan Freeman was like, motherfuckers.
All right.
I really thought a Morgan Freeman was going to come out of my mouth there.
No, it sounded more like Samuel Jackson.
Didn't even come close.
Yeah.
Like, not even a little
I've
bit.
never heard Morgan Freeman drop an MFer in my life.
It was to the point where I didn't even think you were trying.
I was going to do motherfuckers in a Morgan Freeman voice, but yeah, like, I don't know why I thought it was just going to work, and it didn't at all.
Know why it didn't work. Motherfucker. Tall glass of water.
Like
Here's a
you can
tall
hear him
glass of
in
water.
the narration of Shawshank saying "motherfuckers" if you do enough of it in
This
your head.
tall glass motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
uh,
Motherfuckers.
what
Oh,
year?
that's a little better.
Motherfucker. What year did this come out? What year is
Mm.
this? Are you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
1980.
88.
What did you say, Nate?
80.
And Jake said 88?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1989. Jake once
What?
again with the point.
Ah, killing me on these numbers.
Getting them. Another.
I would have guessed quite a bit older if you hadn't said Tom Cruise was.
Oh, yeah. Really young.
It must
Tom
have been
Cruise.
like his first movie or something.
It was early on, I think. I don't know. I don't know enough Tom.
Well, even again, I was thinking the 90s, and then I'm like, no, they're all earlier than I think.
Yeah, always.
Yeah,
Always.
it's just like Morgan Freeman throws you. Like Morgan Freeman has movies like in the 70s.
True. He does. He's been around for a while. I want to find another one where like, oh my god, yeah. Okay, this one pissed me off. Ready?
Yep.
Dunkirk.
Tom Cruise's first movie, 1981.
Damn. Thank you.
Yep.
I'm going to give you 4 because this is when they nominated 10. Okay. Dunkirk. Get Out. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. The Shape of Water.
I'm almost sure I know the year.
Damn. That's sick.
Yeah.
Do you know the movie?
Say them one more time.
3 Billboards
Dunkirk.
Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Yeah, okay.
The Shape of Water. Dunkirk. Get Out. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
Dunkirk.
Shape of Water. I couldn't.
Okay.
What?
I couldn't finish that
What?
movie. I got a half hour in and I quit that movie.
What in the world?
Yeah, I was pissed.
I like the movie fine, but I would never have guessed in a million years
Dunkirk was
over
so good.
any single one of those movies.
I know. Here's what else was that year: Call Me by Your Name, Darkest Hour, Lady Bird,
Wait, don't give Jake clues. I know the
Phantom
year.
Thread, and The Post. He's not gonna get it.
I didn't know any of those movies, but I'm.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the year part. That's my bad.
We'll see. We'll see.
Why do you know the year, Nate?
I'll talk about it afterwards.
You ready, Jake?
Yes.
3,
Oh
2, 1.
shit! Wait.
Oh,
Yeah. 2020.
Oh, I was gonna say 16.
2017. 2020. What the fuck are you talking about? It was
Really?
2017.
It was
yeah.
it was before COVID.
Pre-COVID, Nate. Were you like, oh, it's COVID year? Is that what you were thinking?
Actually, shit. You know what? I think I saw an IMAX re-release of Dunkirk.
Oh.
I knew I lived in San
Oh.
Francisco and
That'll do it.
saw it in IMAX
Okay.
at that theater, but I think it was a re-release.
That was the same. Oh, no, I wasn't there that year. Never mind.
Fuck.
I never
try.
saw any of those movies, but I remember some friends went
Get
to.
Out.
Oh, Get Out!
We
Get
did a
Out! I saw.
podcast on it.
But I don't remember that. What I remembered was some friends went to The Shape of Water,
Mhm.
and apparently the theater was just being raucous.
Wow. During that movie?
But and then I remembered where I lived when they were telling me this.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
probably during the fish fucking scene.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Yes.
fish fucking.
Because apparently some woman turned around and told them, like, haven't you ever seen sex before or something?
Oh my
Just shut
God.
them down because they were like
Damn.
laughing. and
Not
screaming.
with fish.
Yeah.
3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri is directed by Martin McDonough. Worth checking out. It's amazing. Go see it.
3 Billboards is the best movie in the group.
Yes.
I just
Yes.
I knew that didn't win.
Yeah.
And I knew that Get Out didn't win
No.
because I would
Yeah.
have remembered that.
Horror movie doesn't win ever. Okay, we'll do 2 more. Right now it is Jake 13, Nate 8.
Shit.
Yeah. Okay. Your 3 movies are 1917,
I know the year.
The Irishman, Parasite. 1917. The Irishman. Parasite.
Ready?
Ready.
3, 2, 1.
Parasite.
Nailed it. Way to go, guys. All right. Nate's got 10. Jake's got 15. Get ready for the year.
Okay.
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
18.
Nate got it dead on. 2019.
That was my gamble.
Huge. It's now 13 to 15.
This did happen just before COVID. And
I was like, I knew it was after the. Yeah, I was like in between COVID and The Shape of Water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good guess. I can't remember if I did this one already, but I want to do it.
I just need I need recent historical hooks. I saw Parasite without Taylor because she was traveling for a competition, so I knew it wasn't COVID, but it was right before COVID.
Perfect choice. Okay.
Yeah, he gave me one in the last 5 years. We can do this.
Yeah, I'm gonna crush it with it. Okay. Last one. For all the marbles. Jake has 15, Nate has 13. JFK. Beauty and the Beast. The Silence of the Lambs.
All right.
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
Silence.
Nailed it. All right.
Ben's trying to trip us up, and like,
yes.
Horrors usually don't.
I know.
We know you're fucking meta, Ben.
All right, Nate, if you get this dead on, you're tied. Unless Jake also gets it dead on. What year?
That's actually really hard, though.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even try to beat Jake. I have to get it dead on.
Yep.
I don't know it.
Well, you have, one of, I don't know, what, 150? How many have there been?
I think, all right, call it 1 in
96.
30.
1 in 96. If you want to go, like, literal. There's only been 96 years that this has happened.
Ah.
Yeah. But yeah, you have, like, 1 in probably 10, let's be honest.
I can't accurately nail the decade.
Oh, but you could. I bet if you gave me a 10-year span, you'd nail it. Like if you could pick the end date and start date within 10 years, you'd nail it easily.
It's actually throwing me. Like, when the fuck did Beauty and the Beast come out?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I have a guess.
3, 2, 1.
70.
92.
What did you say, Jake?
70.
1991.
Fucking hell.
Oh, Nate.
70, Jake? Silence of the Lambs?
I mean, I went with the under.
You didn't know.
You're a dick.
I also didn't know. I would have honestly guessed 80s.
Yeah, he got a point.
I thought Beauty and the Beast was one of the old ones.
You're close enough with that's what was throwing me. Beauty and the Beast seemed like it should have been older, but
yes.
I know that Silence of the Lambs was not that old.
Yep.
Ah.
Nate, I'll give you one chance to tie, because I usually give that to Jake too. If you can tell me what movie won in 2022, Best Picture.
I don't know, man. That's you've got my Achilles heel.
I
have no.
Do you know who won it last year?
No.
Okay.
I have no idea.
I was gonna do that one, but I thought that was too obvious.
Wait. Everything Everywhere.
2022.
Well, that was 2 years
year?
ago. 2022.
Which one? What are you saying?
I'm saying. Oh no, you said last year. That would be too obvious because that's 2023 is Everything Everywhere, right?
2022 is what I'm asking about. And then I also, like, as a conversation, I asked you what one last year, but I want you to tell me for the question for the game.
The problem that Ben's having is that one of those two is Everything Everywhere, and I don't remember which one.
It's not my problem.
Just
it's about to be your problem.
Be Everything Everywhere.
Oh, it sounds like you can either guess that or guess nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
It is Everything Everywhere all at once.
Hey,
Jake,
fuck you, Jake.
Jake for the win. What won last year?
What? Safe. That's safe. He doesn't know.
Okay. All right. Here's your tiebreaker.
Oh,
Oh, it's tied. You just tied.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Nate, you were losing 5 seconds ago.
It is fairly won. I'm really mad that Jake kept just barely getting me on the years.
Yeah,
Like, he
Jake
did
won
win.
every time. Yeah.
I think you were the only one who nailed a year, though, right?
Yeah, he was.
Yes, but that was because I knew I had to, and I had like a 5-year span. I just got lucky.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. One of these three movies won in the year 2021. You tell me which movie it was.
Oh, we have to. Okay.
I'm going to give you three. You're not going to be able to guess the year because I'm telling you it's 21. And you tell me which one won. Okay. King Richard, Dune, Coda.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Coda.
Coda's the winner. Jake gets it.
Oh shit!
It was the Apple TV Plus movie.
Ben got me right back.
Got him.
I thought he was trying to fuck with me.
Yeah, always have to.
I knew it wasn't Dune.
Yep.
And I do not remember King Richard at all. So I'm like, I'll say the other one I've heard of.
It's the movie about Serena and Venus Williams' dad. Will Smith played him.
Okay.
I heard it's good. We'll see.
Will Smith sucks nowadays.
The only tennis movie I care about is
Challengers.
Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of challengers, this 3 ways over. Thanks for listening to our episode today. I'd like to thank my guests, Nate and Jake, for joining me. As always, what a segue.
Incredible.
What a segue. If you are new here, you can follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. If you do listen on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review. If you're watching us, hey, be sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@rumcinema. As always, we're going to leave you with a couple things to watch. Nate, got something for the people?
I've watched nothing except for these 2 movies.
Well, which of these 2 would you recommend?
Since we last. Anora.
Okay.
I do have a book recommendation.
Oh, book.
Dungeon Crawler Carl is
I've heard about that.
One of the best books of last. I keep getting it recommended, and I just read it like the last few days, and it's really, really good. It's
aren't there like multiple? I think my brother reads those.
It's a series, yeah. He's pumping them out apparently.
Oh.
It's lit RPG, so it's like
choose your own adventure book.
No. It's like a fantasy story where the concepts of like video game mechanics come into play.
Cool.
Which is usually like, and it is. It reads like an action movie. It's like, it's not serious. It's very lightweight, but it's really, really, really funny.
Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Taylor said, like, I don't think I've ever laughed out loud as many times as you have in the last like 3 days just reading this book. Like, especially if you've ever played video games, you know the tropes.
Yeah.
Because it's basically like takes those tropes, puts a real life spin on it, and like it's like rolling its eyes at it. It's as quippy as an Avengers movie, like, which is fresh in a book, so it's actually still fun.
Yeah.
Like it's really funny.
That's dope. Love that.
Yeah.
What a great recommendation. Jake, what do you
got? I watched Squid Game season 2.
Ooh.
It was good. Here's the thing though. It's not Squid Game season 2. It's Squid Game part 1 of 2.
Yeah,
right?
There's a 3rd season coming out, right?
Yeah, but like you shouldn't separate out the 2nd season from the 3rd season. This is, to me, this is the first half of season 2.
Got it. I'm rewatching season 1 right now because I heard it's kind of like there's some callbacks, so I want to make sure I get them. So I'm rewatching season 1. Squid Game season 2, part 1.
So yeah, I enjoyed it, but I'm not gonna commentate too much on how good I think it was or that, because like I said, to me it just feels very much like a part 1.
Cool. Good to know.
I'm going to take your recommendation because I had zero interest in watching Squid Game season 2.
What?
I loved Squid Game.
Yeah.
And then I was like, this, like the ending, like set up for season 2.
Yeah.
I think I rolled my eyes out of my head. Like, I was not interested.
We'll see what happens.
Maybe it'll be good.
Maybe it will. We'll never know. Speaking of season
Season
2s, I rewatched all of Severance season 1 in 2 days, and then started Severance season 2. The first episode is definitely just like a setup episode, but I am excited for where they should be going forward. If you haven't seen Severance, Apple TV Plus, it's where basically this like brain implant is in your head, and when you go to work down this elevator, you become your innie. So like you have separate lives and memories when you go to work. So you don't remember anything about the outside world when you're at work, and when you're outside of work, you don't remember anything about the work world. Incredible story. It's really good. So yeah, Severance season 2, Apple TV Plus. That is my recommendation. We hope you enjoyed this as much as we did. We'll be back next week with 2 more movies from the Best Picture nominations, and we'll be able to rank some more movies, play some more games. We love you all. Enjoy your rum. Enjoy your cinema. We'll see you next time.